and welcome back to my channel. My name is Freldran, and today I'm back in Star Trek Online to show you the console that is part of the current featured event, Defense over Pavo. As you can see, I've already claimed it. I've also done one of the days for the daily bonuses for getting extra lithium. You can do this like right after you claim the item, so it's like the same day you get it. And you can just keep doing it, just like other events. You have until April 8th to finish this, so you still have time to do it. If you're worried about not being able to finish it, because you do have to do it, was it 14 days in a row, I believe? I forget now. I believe it was 14 days. But yeah, if you don't think you're gonna make it, just do as many as you can. As many days in a row as you can, and then there'll be a thing right here for buying it out with the lithium, or not the lithium, but Zen, and which it kind of sucks that you have to use Zen to do it, but I mean, I guess they've they use some kind of currency to do it, and I guess the Zen is kind of standard for stuff like that. Yeah, if you can get it without doing the buying out with Zen, I'd recommend doing that. Especially for this console, I do not recommend using Zen to just buy it out, right, for this console. I'll go over that in a little while when I'm giving it my ranking. But yeah, other things you get with this, you get 3 boxes, and you get in those boxes you get a choice between Universal Enhanced Tech Upgrade or 1 Specialization Point. If you're max level and you don't need to upgrade anything, go for a Specialization Point. The Universal Enhanced Tech upgrades are okay. I went with these because I do need them. They don't really give much, but they're a little bit of help. So yeah, I just went with those. Plus, you get 25,000 to lithium ore just from completing it, and yeah, that stacks up. Then you get your extra lithium each day. You do it afterwards. The only thing is you can claim more than once on your account is the console itself. So make sure you claim all this stuff on your main character. And yeah, let's go over the console itself. Wrong one. All right, so now I'm doing this on a just kind of a blank ship. It is tier 6. It's an okay ship. I just wanted a plain ship that I can use to have a kind of a blank standard-ish loadout on it. Nothing special. I just have these on there because they are on there. Couldn't bother, get rid of them. This is the console that the ship came with. Not going over that. As you see, I still have my skills and stuff, but I do not have any personal traits on for space. No starship traits. No space reputation things on. I do have activate abilities, but I'm not going to click on any of those. But yeah, here's the console itself. All right, so let's just click on here to get a better view. Now, this only activates during combat. There's no clicky ability. Kind of sucks. A lot of consoles will have clicky abilities plus a passive thing. But this is kind of a different type of passive. This requires you to be in combat for it to activate. And you get plus 34.2 energy damage resistance rating. Now let's go over to right over here. Since I don't have anything extra give me too much resistance rating, other than I guess my shield's probably got some on there. Well, no, maybe anything that's giving me anything really. I don't think I really have anything that's really giving me any extra. Although I do seem to have some there. It might be from in here somewhere. Anyways, yeah, as you can see, let's go with these ones. These are easy to remember. 20.5 for disruptor, and 20.5. That's electric, so I'm not gonna count that because I don't think it's gonna get boosted by this because it says right here it says standard energy types. So, or standard types of energy damage. I don't know if electrical will work, so we'll go ahead and go look at that. I didn't look at before when I was testing this. So, let's see if that gets boosted. But the one we want to focus on is that disruptor. So 20.5% is what I have right now. And this will be added on there. We also have, and this is the, I guess this is the reason why there's no like clicky ability, is because it kind of does it itself. You gain 7,637.5 temporary HP every 5 seconds while in combat. Does not stack. Now, when it says does not stack, I think it means by itself it does not stack. Because I did test this with an ability that gives me temporary HP. And it does stack with that, but does not stack with itself. So it's basically every 5 seconds it refreshes. So you'll have the 7,637.5. And then no matter what this is at, so you can lose a little bit of that. You could be like 5,000 of that HP left. Every 5 seconds it'll refresh. You'll go back up to that max amount. So I think might be a console that might be geared towards a little bit towards more those who want a little bit of extra, I guess, tankiness. You know, you get your damage resistances, and you get this extra HP. So like a tank build. If you have no consoles, or if you have like an extra console slot and you have nothing to put there, this might work for you. This will probably be good for lower level players. Having the extra defense and extra HP be great for that. The other part of this console, okay, so you got a 10% chance to reflect 10% of incoming energy damage back to the target. It reflected damage scales with auxiliary power, and it has 50% shield penetration, and it cannot crit. There are abilities that I believe can do this. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I know I've had them on my alt characters. They have them. Basically, you click. It's a clicky ability. You click it, and it gives you a temporarily like reflective shield. And I think those might be a little bit better than this. Although I don't know if those scale with your auxiliary power. I'm not sure how those work. Again, it's been a while. I think there's a couple of traits that might do that also. I don't remember. But that's kind of why I went with basically having nothing on here, nothing extra, no extra consoles or anything to interfere with that. So, and as you have my auxiliary power up, that way the damage will scale higher. And let's go ahead and do a patrol. All right, let's see here. Actually, let's go to there. All right, let's do Wanted Argala System. This one's a pretty good one to do testing. Enemies aren't too tough, and it's an okay one, I guess. You don't have to do extra flying around. All right, so I am here. Again, you can see my disruptor resistance is 20.5. Let's see if the electrical will go up with it too. I don't know if that will go up with it. I do not have my temporary HP yet. I'm not in combat, so let's go ahead and fly up towards this enemy over here. Let's take a pot shot at him. All right. All right, you can see my HP. You get that temporary HP. These guys aren't doing a lot of damage to me yet. Well, I guess you're getting distracted by them. And you can see right there, it's not on me right now because I'm technically not in combat. You know, I'm flying right next. Oh, there it goes. Now I'm back in combat. Oh, there's the ability right there. It just went off. Let's see if they, yep, just a little blue streak that goes across. If I were in a bigger combat situation, it'll probably go off more often because I'd be getting hit more often. And let's just go ahead and take this guy out and go on to the next enemies. Be a lot more of them. All right.
Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
All right, there's more of these guys, so they'll be hitting me more often. All right, see the ability going off. Let's go ahead and stop firing. All right, so you can see not doing a lot of damage to them. Focus on him, see how much damage it actually does when it reflects. There it goes. And it's not doing much. It was a 74 there. Oh, it does affect electrical. So as you can see, I'm at 36.8 for those. I believe that was like 20.5. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad of an increase. So yeah, just almost 16% almost increase. There's like a 15 actually. Yeah, same amount of combat. So yeah, not too bad. Could be better. All right, I am back here over Earth Space Dock here. I had to cut some of that out. I had a bit of a coughing fit, but anyways, there wasn't really much else to show about that console. It's it performed as I guess intended. It's not. It's not a high. I would say I would not rank it really high in an overall scale. For consoles, mainly because I don't think, for the most part, this will not be like a true end game console for like an everyday build. You have it on every ship. Everything. I don't think that's a thing that this console will be for everyone. Anyways, some people maybe. It has its case uses, and that will probably be mainly for those who need more tankiness. I did not find that the damage output was that great. In some cases, it might be better. Tougher enemies, they're going to be doing a lot more damage to you. But then again, like I said, there's other consoles or like traits or activatable abilities that will give you that. Maybe this stacked with that is fine, but the other ones are certainly better. And then there are abilities that give you extra temporary HP that will they do stack with it, so that's not too bad. But those do tend to take a lot longer. One of them is if you have there's an ability that you can attach to emergency power to shields, or not shields, engineering team. You activate engineering team, that will give you again extra HP, and it'll show up the same way as the console did with that little bit, and they do stack, so that's nice. So I would say definitely, again, for somebody who's looking for being more tanky or just a little bit more survivability, a newer player has the ability to, I believe you can get this as long as you completed the tutorial, I believe. So, fresh character, need a little bit more survivability. A character who's been, you're like maybe not quite towards end game. You've leveled up a decent amount. Probably like level 40, 45 or something like that. They'll still be useful. when you get to end game and you have not like um, really curated all these different consoles from different missions or from the reputation system or from of other events. This one will be fine. Um, as a temporary one until you get like something better, maybe. Um, Now, the increase to energy resistances was fine. Um, I don't know how much it will suffer from uh, diminishing returns when you stack a lot of resistances. Eventually, over time, that it doesn't really add up to much. It'll probably be like a 1% increase to your resistances rather than what was it, like about like 15.2 or whatever it was for this. So, uh, yeah, and overall, I give it probably like a B tier, maybe a B plus. Um, it's you're looking for a little extra tankiness, survivability, early on, and you don't really have anything else to fill that slot. Go for it. This will be perfect for that. DPS characters, I don't really see them using this that much. Um, because it's DPS characters really don't worry too much about resistances as much as a tanky character. Um, so I don't really see them using this, and unless maybe they just have an extra slot, nothing's in there, they might throw this on there. But again, an overall rating, like B plus. Um, but yeah, it's not bad, but it's not great. There are other things that you can get these with, in other consoles. They have increased resistances or temporary HP, reflective abilities. But I guess this is kind of one of those gimmick console where you got all those in one. Um, Again, you can also stack it with those, so might be okay in the long run for, again, like I said, tank characters or just one more survivability. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to go over. I think that's about it. So, yeah, let me know if you like the console. If it helps you out or not. Um, and yeah, leave a like down in the leave a like, comment down below, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye.